In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 MLB games happening on October 4th, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Texas Rangers versus Tampa Bay Rays. The Rangers will look to make quick work of the Rays and advance to the American League Division Series for the first time since 2016 if they can win Wednesday. On Tuesday, Texas got on the board early and rode some excellent pitching to a 4-0 victory. Game 1 of the series in Tampa Bay featured an upset that not many saw coming, with Tyler Glasnow on his home mound against a Rangers team that did not go through their normal practice on Monday. The Rays had a lot of advantages. However, Jordan Montgomery threw a gem for the Rangers, and the Texas offense did exactly what they needed to do. The Rangers won the game 4-0, and the Rays now have their backs to the wall on Wednesday. However, this one is going to be an interesting clash. Tampa Bay will send Zach Eflin to the mound in a win-or-go-home game, and the right-hander has been fabulous at home this season. In 18 starts at the Trop in the regular season, Eflin had a 3.3 earned run average and limited hitters to a .238 batting average with a 30.4% strikeout rate. If the Rangers had a healthy rotation, they might be one of the most complete teams in the postseason. But the injury bug was a big issue for Texas this season, as Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, and most recently, Jon Gray are all dealing with injuries. Wednesday starter Nathan Eovaldi also battled injuries this season, as he missed over a month with a forearm injury, and since coming back, he hasn't been the same pitcher. Eovaldi was an ace in the Texas staff with a 2.83 earned run average in the first half of the season, but in his 9 starts since coming back, he has a 9.3 earned run average and a 1.62 WHIP in 6 outings. Hitters have a .313 batting average and a .284 expected batting average in those 6 outings against Eovaldi. The Rays were in this position a season ago and ultimately fell to Cleveland in 15 innings in the second game. However, that series took place in Cleveland. We know Tampa Bay will not go down without a fight. The Trop is a big advantage for them. They were the best home team in the game this season with a 52-28 record, and their 419 runs scored were 6th most for a team at home. Lifetime, Eovaldi is 4-5 with a 5 earned run average in 13 games at Tropicana Field. Teams hit .261 and launched 10 home runs against the Rangers starter there. Eflin, in his first season with the Trop as his home ballpark, looked as if he had been pitching there his whole career. So long as the defense is cleaned up and the offense can get a few across, I like for Tampa Bay to push this to the limit. Eflin gets a chance to live up to the big money deal he signed in the offseason as one of the lone remaining starters standing in the Rays rotation. He pitched well in the postseason for the Phillies a season ago and has the edge of the Rangers hitters not being overly familiar with his stuff. Eovaldi was a stabilizing force for the Rangers this season, but he came apart down the stretch. After missing 6+ weeks and returning on September 5th, he went just 1-2 with a 9.3 earned run average with 13 walks and 21 strikeouts, while allowing 7 homers and 20.1 innings in 6 outings. Opposing hitters lit him up to the tune of a .313, .418, and .602 slash line in that stretch. Facing a Tampa Bay lineup that blasted 233 homers this season is going to be an uphill task. If this game was in Texas, I would be very hesitant to back Eflin and the Rays, but on his home mound, I'll happily put my faith in him. Against Eovaldi, the Rays hitter should get back on track and even the series, so the Tampa Bay Rays money line is our full game side pick. Texas closed the regular season with the over posting an 81-69-12 mark in their 162 games in relation to the total. The Rangers are 3rd in the majors in runs per game with 5.44 runs per contest, and that slides down to an average of 4.91 runs per game on the road. Texas has posted an average total of 9.86 runs per game this season, which drops down to 9.02 runs per game as the visiting team. Tampa Bay finished the regular season having seen the over post an 89 to 68 to 5 mark on the year. The Rays are fourth in the majors as they put up an average of 5.31 runs per game, though that number does fall slightly to 5.17 runs per game as the home team. Tampa Bay has an average total of 9.41 runs per game entering Saturday, though that number does slide down to 9.26 runs per game as the home team. While Eovaldi sputtered down the stretch, Eflin has been pretty solid all year long. Combined, they mustered just 4 runs in Game 1 behind some outstanding pitching on both sides. Glasnow may not have been his best self, but he still struck out 8. That's where the Rangers can be had, and Eflin is capable of doing much the same, though I expect him to fare even better in the long run. Eovaldi is obviously one of the best starters going this season and has a reputation as a bulldog in the postseason. Both bullpens were also on point in Tuesday's games, leaving me to believe that the bats are once again in for long days. This game ends up falling short of the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Blue Jays vs. Minnesota Twins. Game 2 of the American League Wildcard Best-of-3 series will be played on Wednesday at Target Field between the visiting Toronto Blue Jays and the host Minnesota Twins. Minnesota owns a 1-0 lead in the series after defeating Toronto 3-1 in Game 1 on Tuesday and can close out the series and move on to the American League Divisional Series with a win on Wednesday. The Blue Jays are sending Jose Berrios to the mound on Wednesday, and the Twins are countering with Sonny Gray. Toronto will be without Danny Jansen, Otto Lopez, and Davis Schneider, as well as 2 pitchers. Minnesota will not have Joey Gallo, Brian Buxton, Nick Gordon, and Jose Miranda, as well as 5 pitchers. For the most part, Toronto's pitching staff did its best in Game 1, except for a pair of home runs, but it was the lineup that failed to produce at the plate for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette had a pair of hits, as did Kevin Kiermaier, who also had Toronto's only RBI, but Vladimir Guerrero was just 1 for 4, while George Springer, Brandon Belt, Kevin Biggio, and Matt Chapman were a combined 1 for 17. Toronto struck out 7 times. The Blue Jays left 9 runners on base. Toronto's Kevin Gausman gave up a pair of home runs in his 4 innings, allowing all 3 runs, but the Toronto bullpen did its part pitching for innings and allowing just 1 hit and no runs while striking out 6 and walking 3. Jose Berrios finished the regular season for Toronto at 11-12 with an earned run average of 3.65. and 184 strikeouts. Minnesota's 3 runs were enough for the Twins to grab a 1-game lead in this 3-game series and put Toronto on the brink of elimination. Royce Lewis was the big bat for the Twins with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, accounting for all of Minnesota's runs. Minnesota's only other 2 hits were off the bats of Carlos Correa and Max Kepler. Jorge Polanco, who returned after an injury, was 0 for 4. Minnesota left 8 runners on base. Minnesota starting pitcher Pablo Lopez and the Twins bullpen performed very well. Lopez gave up just 1 run on 5 hits in 5 2/3 innings, and the bullpen gave up 1 hit and no runs in 3 1/3 innings of relief with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. Minnesota will hand the ball to Sonny Gray on Wednesday. This season, the right-hander was 8-8 with an earned run average of 2.79 and 183 strikeouts. Sonny Gray was 8-8 during the regular season with an earned run average of 2.79 with 183 strikeouts. Gray gave up just 3 earned runs over his final 21 innings pitched during the regular season. Gray threw 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 5 hits when Minnesota beat Toronto 3-2 on June 9th in his only appearance against the Blue Jays this season. Toronto's Jose Berrios was 11-12 with an earned run average of 3.65 and 184 strikeouts during the regular season. However, Berrios was roughed up for 8 runs in 11 2/3 innings in his last 2 starts. Berrios pitched well in his only appearance against Minnesota, winning 3-0, but he gave up 5 walks. Toronto's bats were shut down in Game 1 and face another tough Minnesota pitcher in Sonny Gray. The Blue Jays finished 6 for 33 at the plate with 7 strikeouts. Gray has been one of the game's best starters in 2023, holding 21 of his 32 opponents to 2 or fewer runs. He was 11th in the American League in innings pitched and 13th in strikeouts, too. With a couple of months of momentum on his side, I believe Gray turns in a quality start on Wednesday at home. Berrios has been less effective, giving up 8 runs in his last 2 starts and 4+ runs in 5 of his last 10 outings. The Twins scored 4.8 runs per game at home in 2023, slashing .249 BA, .332 OBP, .448 SLG, and .780 OPS in 81 games at Target Field. They have been on a tear since the All-Star break too. The advantage on the mound goes to the Minnesota Twins in this game, so the Minnesota Twins money line is our full game side pick. Berrios pitched well against the Twins in his only appearance versus Minnesota this season, and Gray did the same in his only appearance versus the Blue Jays. The Twins beat the Blue Jays in extra innings 3-2 when Gray pitched, and the Blue Jays beat the Twins 3-0 in Berrios' only appearance versus Minnesota. If Tuesday's Game 1 was any indication, this will be a low-scoring series as just 4 runs were scored with 12 hits and 62 official at-bats between both teams. I just believe that this game is going to be a mirror image of Game 1. I think Toronto will obviously hope for a different result, but the offense was stagnant in Game 1 and Sonny Gray's been at his best at home, and a sub-3 earned run average on the year is impressive. On the other side, Jose Berrios shut out his former team in his lone start against them this season, and I could easily see a pitcher's duel here. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.